Hello guys, today I'm going to try and finish off the body of the Massey here. In one of the previous videos you see me work on the cab here, and today I'm going to install the Arduino under the bonnet here, install the motor driver and install a battery which should be able to fit under the bonnet as well, and then a few LEDs to the rear of the mudguards here, wire up the servos that are already in it. We have the steering and the link servo. That should be the Massey 8680 fully operational, I think. I think the first thing I'll try to do is add some lights to the rear of the tractor. So I'm going to need brake lights, an indicator, and I think I'll try and turn this into a work light. And like I done with the cab, I'm going to use these 1.8mm LEDs. So a little LED like that, 1.8. And I'm just going to drill a few holes in the rear of the model here and mount these up. There's a small bit of space under the wheel arch, so hopefully that'll be enough to hide any wires, maybe some resistors. But if there's not enough space under there for hiding stuff, I can always hide it in under the seat of the tractor here. So I have quite a few options where to hide things. I've taken off the fake lights from each side of the mudguards here, and I just soldered up the LEDs in place there, and then I just added some wires to each of the little legs on the LEDs there. The wires wouldn't fit through the holes that are originally there, so I drilled some holes to, I think it was 5.5mm, but you'll get an idea yourself what size of a hole you need to drill. And then the wires will just fit through there, and the little posts that were already on the fake lights, we can just push them back in hopefully. And now we have our wires coming through the bottom here, and I need to keep them pretty close to the mudguard because we don't want them hitting the wheel. So if they hit the wheel, obviously they'll get ripped out, and that'll just be a total mess to have to try and fix that. So to stop the wires hitting the wheels, what I think I'll do is drill 4 holes good and tight to the top of the mudguard here. That'll bring the wires out here, and I'll just run them down into the body there, maybe through that hole that I have from a previous attempt at making this tractor. There's the lights in place now. You can see our 4 wires coming out through the 4 holes here. The 4 wires nice and snug to the bottom of the mudguard there, and if we put the wheels back in, see nothing is hitting there, so that's pretty good. I'm looking at wiring these lights in the rear of the tractor now, and what I'm realising is this second servo that I put in here on the bottom of the model is going to be in the way of all my wiring. So what I think I'll do is remove the insides from the broken servo that I had placed in there for the time being, and just completely forget about a front linkage being controlled from back here, because there's just no way that it's going to happen. I need that space for the wires now to get back up to the bonnet where the Arduino will be. So I'm going to take out the broken Arduino and just use it as a support for this. It's getting difficult to film the wiring that I'm doing because I'm doing it in such tight spaces. All you can really see is my hands, so I'm going to skip the filming of the this tight little wiring because it's hard to solder with the camera in the way and you can't see it anyway, so there's no point in me filming it. So what I've done is sorted out the resistors for the rear lights here and put them all in there and ran the wires up through here. So now they're sticking out on the bonnet here, and next thing I'm going to do is solder these in, and what I want to do is mount the Arduino just like that in there, so that when I come along to program it I can just push the FTDI cable in here into these pins, program it, take it out, close the bonnet. Very simple. That's the plan. I think I'll have to put the battery in the top of the bonnet here, so that'll just sit in like that, and we should have loads of space. I have a switch as well here somewhere. I did. Yeah, I have a switch here, and I think I'll just leave that on a couple of wires just sitting in under the bonnet here, maybe up at the top, and just flick it on and close the bonnet. Basically I'll be able to change the battery and switch it on and off just by lifting the bonnet and program the Arduino. So it should be pretty simple, a little bit better than the John Deere 8360 RT, because you would have had to take the bottom off that tractor to program the Arduino in the body. So it's a little bit better. Getting on pretty good with the wiring. I have the Arduino in there, the first few wires are on it, so that's going pretty good. I should be able to fit the motor driver in here without too much trouble, so that should be fine. So I still have this space here, so what I'm thinking I'll do is I have a little boost converter here. So this is going to take the 3.7 volts of our battery and boost it up to around about 5 volts, and I'm going to connect that to the servos. So I'm going to run the two servos at around about 5 volts. The reason I'm going to do that is because the John Deere has a slight jitter in the lifting arm servo. I'm not sure what the cause of that is, so it could be noise because all the wires are so close, but I've no idea. So what I'm going to do is put the boost converter in there and see will that help the problem. I'm also going to put these two capacitors in here, and that should just help smooth out the voltage as well. So when the servos start up, the voltage doesn't drop too much. Hopefully these capacitors will help with that. So I'm going to put one on the battery side and one on the boosted side. Well, I got the Arduino soldered in there and added a little switch, a place for the battery on the front here, and it all seems to be working pretty well. I'm just using an external battery here at the minute because the smaller battery has gone flat, and I'll just show you that we have drive, no problem, nice smooth control, or we can speed it up. So that's pretty good. We have reasonable steering. The steering lock on this is terrible when you're used to the John Deere, with the track John Deere that can just turn so quickly. But still, it's not a big deal. We have control of our lifting arms. So that's pretty good. We have our beacons working, but you can't see them on the camera there. I'll turn off the lights maybe. Okay, well, I've turned off the lights now. So there is the beacons. Here's our brake lights. Well, our tail lights, I mean. There's the tail lights. That looks fairly good. I have some lights on the front of the model here. So I'm just using the lights on the front of the cab here as headlights so far, because I haven't wired up any lights into the bonnet yet. But I'll get around to doing that. And here's the work lights. So you can see we have four sets of lights on the front of the cab there, and like I said, I had blue lights on the rear of this, but the white lights mixed with the blue lights actually looks really good, I think. You can see them there. So the top ones are clearly a blue light, but it works pretty good on this model, I think. So I'm quite happy with how the LEDs have turned out so far. I have noticed a few things that aren't great with the model. The first is obviously the lights. I need to finish off the lights, so that's not really that big of a deal. The steering lock on the model isn't great, but there's not much I can do about that. It is steering as far as the model will actually mechanically allow it. Like the mudguards are pretty close to the inside of the bonnet here, so I can't really make that any better than it is. One problem that I can do something about is the rear linkage here. If you can remember back, I put a pin through the bottom half of the loop on the rear linkage down here, so that the linkage was always in up position and it wouldn't get caught in this little teeth that are supposed to hold it in position when it was a static model. That's not a good idea, it turns out, because in this upper position the model can't use things like a bale fork. The bale fork is too high off the ground. So what I'm going to have to do instead is mill down the top of the, well, mill away these teeth that are in here, so that this little piece can just move freely back and forward. So basically the linkage should be able to go fully down, so that we'll be able to pick up bales and stuff with the link. Because at the minute the linkage just can't go down low enough to pick up bales or anything like that. So we need to sort that out. So I might sort out the rear linkage and add the LEDs to the bonnet next weekend if I get the chance. So if you want to see those videos, make sure and subscribe. If you like the Massey build, make sure and hit the like button, and if you have any comments, post them below or in the forum and I'll try and answer them. And that's pretty much everything, so thanks very much for watching.